Welcome back. Stasa23 here, back again with some knife therapy. And today I have for you the Real Steel G5 Metamorph Compact. And this is an Indiana Knives exclusive. I really like working with Indiana Knives. They definitely take care of you and they send your stuff out quickly. I bought many of knives. They sent me some stickers and even a cool little wooden branded keychain. Super cool. And they decided to collaborate with Real Steel with the G5 Metamorph to make a smaller compact version, and Indiana Knives calls it the mini Metamorph. This knife came in at $145. And if you are wanting one, they were still available right before I did this video. They're only going to be doing 300 of these, and this is the box it comes in. Real Steel, like I said, calls it the G5 Metamorph Compact. My number is 116. They are numbered out of 300. Comes with a little microfiber cloth branded in Real Steel. One thing I do like about Real Steel is that they give you a certificate of authenticity. Gives you the blade steel, which is M390. You know, some stats. And then the micarta is Norplex micarta. I think that's just a different brand name. Micarta is the actual brand name of a phenolic material. And when it was built, and the number. That's really cool to see. You usually see those only on higher end knives like customs and stuff like that. But I wasn't really into the first version that came out of this because it was in aluminum scales. It was a little slick for my hands and it was a little long at the time for me. I did like the fact that it was very compact, kind of like a steak knife. And I saw that the compact, they had did this compact. I definitely want to check it out, and I want to support Indiana Knives as well. Let's get some stats so you can get an idea. You have a total length of 7.1 inches and a blade length of, okay, they say 3 inches. And I measured with 3 different rulers in different places. I measured from the front right up here to the tip, and it's about 3.1. And then down here, it's almost 3 1/4 or 3 1/8. So, you know, if you have blade restrictions and wherever you live and it's really strict, then I don't know. I guess I wouldn't buy it. But I mean, most of the time, I don't know. We don't have any kind of crazy laws like that. But I would think the only time you'd ever get in trouble for it is to tack on an additional charge to whatever you got, you know, arrested for in the first place. They're not going to just check you for a knife. I don't think so. Maybe in New York. This would definitely make for a good, lightweight EDC. You know, something to wear in slacks or an office type atmosphere. It's definitely not going to be a hard use knife by any means. The way it's set up and the materials used. Got that nice looking, I guess you could call it a drop point blade. It does drop down here, kind of like a warning. Nice wedge up top. You got a nice point for piercing. But it's not too dainty, but you're not going to be prying with this anyway, or you shouldn't. This side, the blade's sterile with that satin finish. On this side, you got the designer's name, Ostap Hell. He makes some pretty cool stuff. Collaborated with a lot of companies at this point. Your blade's still M390 and it's numbered, like I said, out of 300. I got 116. You got some functional jimping up here that definitely locks you in whenever you push down on here. You have a stainless liner lock. It looks a lot thinner than it actually is. You can look back here. That's the actual thickness. I mean, it's still thin, but like I said, this is not a hard use knife. It locks up. That's all that really matters to me. I took my particular knife apart just because it sounded a little gritty. And but it came super smooth, as you can see, very, very smooth. And I was wanting to see if they use the same roller ball bearings like they did on the first one. And sorry to say, if anybody, you know, was excited about those, it's just regular bearings in there, which I don't really care. Why would, I mean, it'd be one thing if the action suffered from it, but the action's great. Ceramic bearings on there. It was a pain in the butt to take apart because they had like the collar, the female portion where the screw goes into, it was like press fit in there almost. Very hard. I had to like pop it up. So if you do decide to get one of these, I just wouldn't take it apart. It didn't really need it. I can't help myself. Let's see. It does have a sharpening notch right here. And I'm not gonna, you know, I'm just trying to do this one quick because the regular version of this knife has been reviewed often. I mean, a lot. One thing that I did think was pretty cool, the pocket clip is, you know, it's nothing fancy, but it is cool to see how they blind screwed. As you can see, they blind screwed the pocket clip, so you don't see any screws on this side, and it's screwed in from the bottom. A nice micarta or Norplex micarta backspacer that's got this little groove in there. I like how they put a lanyard post. You don't have any extra hole that's not needed. And I don't know why I even passed this up, but it is a front flipper that has been chamfered on the sides. As you can see, there's no sharp edges. And one thing I like about a front flipper that's a liner lock is you don't have to worry about pressing on that lock bar, and you can easily do the reach around. Rockets out that way, or you can use it that way. I'm not awesome at doing it that way, but I can get it to come out. I prefer just doing the old reach around. It does slice really well. You got a high flat grind. I measured my particular sample at around 15 thousandths. It was 14 right here in the back area, but around 15 all up in this area right here. I had to double check that several times against some, I had to take my calipers and measure on some material that I knew exactly how thick it was, because for some reason it didn't feel like it was that thin. But after doing some cutting with it over the weekend, when I went camping, it performed pretty well. The M390 was super sharp, and let's see, yeah, it still feels pretty darn sharp. I did strop it, but it feels like it might still pop hairs. I'm not certain. I'm not going to do that on camera. Let's get some quick size comparisons so you can see how much smaller the compact is. Another knife that, you know, would be a good, if you don't want to spend the $145, another good budget front flipper, which this isn't a budget front flipper, but you got the Civivi McKenna. This is the Damascene steel version, but the D2 version is $68. So another great front flipper, both of these good front flippers. And as you can see, the McKenna is a little bit smaller. So if the McKenna is just a little tad too small for you in the handle, then the compact Metamorph might be a winner for you. So you got the Hogue Knives Deca with kind of the same blade shape, except you got the compound grind there. Deca's a little bit bigger. Another one that kind of has the same thing as the Deca is the Drop Dogtooth, Brad Zinker designed Dogtooth. Both of those are bigger than the compact Metamorph. One more, just because it's a more common knife. This is my K390 Spyderco Delica. Delica is very, very close in size. They have about the same, they have the same grip area. Yeah, they do. They have the same grip area, so if the Delica fits in your hand, the compact Metamorph should fit in your hand as well. Another thing that I noticed right off the hand is how extremely lightweight this thing is. Let's see, for a 3-inch blade, 1.93 ounces. That's very, very nice. I really did, when I had this in my pocket when we went camping, I forgot it was in my pocket twice. I was like, oh, I need a knife, and this was in my pocket. So real quick, let's see how this pocket clip sits in the pocket, and then I'll kind of talk about some of my nitpicks for those of you stuck around. I will say this thing completely disappears in the pocket. It's coming to right there. It's pretty thin in this dimension and in this dimension as well, along with the weight. That's why I said it would make a great, either Gymshark knife or slack knife in your slacks. Okay, first I'm gonna say the price. Is it a little overpriced? Yeah, I would say that, but it wasn't so overpriced to where I didn't want to buy it. It's online with, say, the dog tooth. That's around, I think, about how much. I think I paid like $130 for this, so around that. And that's an S35, but it does have titanium. This one, I think it was like $98 for the Damascus version, but it's a little bit smaller, so I don't know how I'd take that. But another knife that is similar in size to this is the Artisan Small Centuri, and it's like $178, and S35 with micarta, and it's a titanium frame lock. So it's about in line with what you're seeing, out on the market. But is it an awesome deal? No, I just wanted to support Indiana Knives. One thing that I noticed on my particular version is that it has just a tad bit of side to side. Nothing that I felt like it was gonna disengage that lock. Like I said, I used it a good bit this weekend, and that was another thing. When I took it down, I was trying to alleviate that. It may be more of the scales flexing side to side than actual play. There's no up and down whatsoever. Let's see. As much as I like the pocket clip being blind screwed, the only problem that I've noticed whenever I was taking this thing apart is that the actual screw, this screw on this side, is being covered up by that pocket clip. And as long as as long as this one back here isn't turning, you're okay. And luckily I was able to get this one off without that one spinning on me, but it could be a problem. If that does spin, you wouldn't be able to get it off, because you can't get to that without removing the scales. So this is just something, I really don't think you would need to take it apart. You could, if it was gritty or something, you could rinse it out with water in there, blow it out with some compressed air, and put some lube in there. You should be fine. Let's see. There was something. Oh yeah, one other thing. When I was doing a little testing, cutting some cardboard with this, and it was fine in hand, comfortable in hand. But this week I was playing around, making some kindling for a fire and doing some feather sticking. And whenever I was bearing down in the hammer grip like this, bearing down, putting force in there, I noticed the back end of this pocket clip was kind of bothering my hand. And as well, let's see if I can show, well, right here, these edges right here, because they cut a chamfer in right here, and the edges right there are 90-degree edges. And I felt that whenever I was cutting. So, the average person is probably not gonna be making feather sticks with this knife. So if you don't plan on doing any kind of like super hard cutting with it, putting a lot of force, should be good. You may not feel any of the things that I felt. My hands may be a little more sensitive than others. But overall, I think it's a cool offering. I like seeing companies do exclusives through their company for certain knives. Of course, I love the fact that they use the Norplex G10. I mean, micarta. It feels good in the hand. Mine's It came a lot lighter than this. Mine is starting to darken up from the oils in my hands. You can see it kind of light over here where I wasn't really touching it that much. But I'll be interested to see how it darkens up over time. So there you go. That is the Real Steel G5 Metamorph Compact, or the Mini Micartamorph. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I will leave a link to Indiana Knives and leave a link to this knife. If you're interested, you might want to act quick, because like I said, they only made 300 of them, and I don't think they're going to be doing another run. So there you go. Hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.